ISO is set to go March 20th, and we're talking about ISO 20,022. We have several cryptos that we cover heavily on this channel that a lot of you out there are expecting an ISO pump when this goes live tomorrow. I've got some ISO news that I want to share with you. We're going to look at the heat map. We're going to look at the charts and see, do we have ISO price action coming up because of the launch? And that has a nice burrito on there, doesn't it? If you know what I'm talking about when I'm saying burrito, please comment down below. We're going to start it off with the heat map. We're going to talk about what ISO does, what it means, and we're going to talk about XRP, XLM specifically, because we cover them a lot on the channel. Full disclosure though, I am starting the heaviest part of my dieting cutting phase. For the rest of March, I am going balls to the walls, cutting, busting my ass. So if I'm a little bit more jittery, well, that's because I've got a little bit of caffeine up in the drink. All right, Bitcoin sitting at 27,822, ETH 1792, getting close to 1,800 for ETH. ETH breaks that 1,800, solid attempt then can be made after to hit that 2,000. Now, how can that happen? Jerome Powell and the Fed rate hike announcement. They don't come out with any rate hike, boom, you're gonna see it happen. They come out with a quarter, I don't know, might keep the markets kind of green a little bit, you know, nothing too crazy. Let's put it that way, right? Near more neutral middle, maybe more positive green, maybe a little bit more negative red, nothing crazy. They come out with the 50, done. XRP, one of the two we're going to talk about today, doing the late rally, up 6% to 39 cents. XRP trying to bust through that 40-cent mark. We're going to be keeping an eye on it. XLM sitting at 8.7 cents, up 2.4% last 24 hours. But now let's swing it on over to Twitter, and I'm going to show you, check it out, ISO, that is trending right now. ISO 20,022, 1,744 tweets. I have been commenting a lot about ISO on my Twitter account. If you want to be following it, it will be linked in the description below. Also some tunes I'm listening to there. Ready for ISO? There's been much more noise in the banking sector about ISO 20,022. However, the question remains, is the industry ready for this redefinition of messaging in the payments ecosystem? An investigative paper from Celent has found that 63% of large banks believe they will be prepared by November of 2025. That's a long time away. However, 25% said they will need help to meet the deadline or rely on available stopgap measures. Even more worrying, only 3% of corporates expect banks to be 100% ready. That's crazy. And a lot of you out there have some misconceptions about ISO, so let's clear them up. Don't worry, we're going to talk XLM XRP price action. ISO 20,022 is a global standard for electronic messaging between financial institutions and was initially created to give the financial industry a common platform for sending and receiving data about payments. ISO is about messaging, not how you move money, but messaging. And here's why. ISO still relies upon bank ACH action. Okay. So we're not talking about using crypto action at all. No, we're talking about ACH movement. This ISO code is going to be replacing the previous 4217 standard. I've got that here up on the screen. As always, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. ISO previous standard is 4217. That's the standard to identify currencies for global transactions, global moving of money. So now the problem was this. Before ISO 20,022, this 4217 wasn't like the best standard. It didn't fit everything. And there were some problems. Not everyone also was on the standard. And the standard, to give you an idea, it's chips. All right? I want you to replace the word chips with USD. Someone wants you to send $500 USD. But what if they write USD in caps, USD in big caps? What if some other bank, when they write their, letters for their currencies, they use lowercase, USD lowercase? Those messages won't jive. That adds to the delay in money moving, just like chips. Both talking about food, just like USD, right? Uppercase and lowercase. Chips spelled the same, so is USD, uppercase and lowercase, but it means maybe two different things, or does it? But the thing is, with messaging systems, they don't. And that's what ISO is fixing here. One word meaning two different things, or two different spellings for one word. ISO is clearing all of that up. It is a messaging standard. Now, that being said, once cryptos get ISO compliant code, they can be added to that list. But the big thing we're looking at here is that ISO is applicable for ACH movement of money. Let's move on to the charts. XRP seeing a move. We're seeing it, like I said. Jerome Powell line right here in the Fed announcement. That's that purple line. But look at XRP is starting to move on the way up. Over the last couple days, we're talking about since the 17th of March, XRP is up about 10%. Healthy movement. XLM, let's take another look here. XLM not moving as strongly. Broader market looks very healthy though. When you look at the other ISO compliant, they're not moving nearly as big as the move of Bitcoin had over the last week. So now when it comes to ISO 20,022, buy the rumor, sell the news. Is ISO even applicable for crypto? Because we're still talking ACH system, right? We're still talking the fact that banks are going to be taking years for this. 63% of large banks believe they will be prepared by November of 2025. That's not a lot. So even the rollout of ISO is going to take a fair amount of time. ISO is not how you move money. ISO is about the messaging, right? The commands of moving money. You know, the commands being, hey, I want to deposit 500 USD in this account, and this account is blah, blah, blah. All of those messages mean the same, so that when banks talk to each other, the messaging works. There's no friction. Because remember, something simple as USD in caps in one bank message, receiving as USD in lowercase for currency list on that ISO currency list, that won't jive. ISO 20,022 standards is making sure that when you say the word chips, when I say the word chips, it means the same thing. It's spelled the same. Upper and lower case is all the same. ISO is a messaging standard that is being used by ACH systems right now, the slow stuff. Now, I wanted to show you something really cool because there are a lot of falsities out there, and I think a lot of channels out there and a lot of rumor mills are pumping up hope about ISO 20022, and I'm not meaning to crush that. I'm just providing you with the news, both good and negative. Here's the problem. Bitcoin, right? We talk about ISO standards. They talk about Bitcoin. Unofficial ISO code is XBT. Here's the problem. It conflicts with ISO 427 because Bitcoin, BT, stands for the country Bhutan. Oh, okay. What about Ethereum? That conflicts with ET, which is Ethiopia. That's what I'm saying. It's this messaging system. It is not about the movement of money. It's not about using like Solana, Bitcoin Cash, and all that to move money. It's about making sure that the messages, the country labels, and so forth, ISO, make sense. They all mean the same thing. We're all using the same letters. Now, this is where things get really funky, and I want to kind of share with you how the cryptos could see the positive side. XRP and XLM are both members of the ISO 20022 membered standards body. You've got a couple here that are compliant and a couple more that are rumored to be compliant. But this ISO has to do with the ACH rail system. That's when we move it over to Nacha. Not Nacho, I said Nacha. Nacha helps drive safe, fast electronic payments. Nacha governs the ACH network, the payment system that drives direct deposits and direct payments with the capability to reach all U.S. banks and credit unions. And then when we start moving money out internationally, this is why ISO is important. Why? Because by utilizing Nacha's ISO to ACH mapping guide, that's right, this is all for ACH. So the original system right now where this is being applied to is coming out for the ACH banking system. For cryptos to benefit from this, that list that I was showing you here, they would have to come up with their own system that piggybacks onto ACH. ISO is not, I repeat, is not a new system. It is a messaging system. I just want to make sure we get all of this clear because I have seen so much hopium crap out there saying that come the 20th, that XRP, XLM are going to be the ones moving money. That's not how this is going to work. We don't even have the banks ready to roll yet, with 63% of the banks saying, yeah, we'll be ready by 2025. Okay, so here's the thing. The ISO stuff is very complex, and there's so many layers of it. Now, for the crypto part of it, right, the thrive of the crypto part, that is so far down the road. Because we're now just getting the ACH systems to go with this. We don't even have that digitized system yet. We've got the Fed now to worry about. Yeah, that Fed now is definitely going to be a competitor for stable coins and cryptos out there. That's obvious. But when it comes to ISO 20022, it is a messaging standard. It is not how you move money. It has nothing to do with how. by blockchain, ACH, anything like that. By the way, it's starting on ACH first. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the messaging between financial institutions, making sure that the coding they use, for example, for the country, 3-digit letters, that they use country codes that are all the same. That this country is the same as this country and everyone spells it the same. So when these bank messages are sent, they're frictionless. They move seamlessly, they interlock good to go. If the keys don't fit, the message isn't going to work. It screws up the whole system. Then money doesn't move fast at all, does it? So ISO 20022, do you believe it is going to make the crypto markets move tomorrow? I don't know. I think a lot of people out there are expecting it, but I think a lot of people that are expecting it are maybe being hyped up by those out there that think that ISO is the actual way to move money, right? That's the new standard of way to move money, and it's just simply not. Now, if you want to learn more stuff about why like banks and bond gap is crazy, that's this video right here. If you want to see what I do outside of crypto to keep my head sane, that's this channel right here. Check it out. Now, I'm going to be doing a hard cut the rest of this month, so follow me on that second channel. Follow the journey until more news breaks, more caffeine, more running, and I'll catch you cool cats later.